That's interesting. It's telling me that it's unable to connect to the chat, at least on my control panel. So that means I'm going to have to switch between, well, I won't really have to switch, but Ali Alba, what's going on, man? You been busy? I'm guessing you have. That's usually what happens when people get the course. They get inside and then they start training for a bunch so you don't hear them for a little bit. And then they start building their business so you don't hear them for a little bit. And then they like get to the point where they got a few clients or they're working on the internal side of their business and they're like, all right, I'm going to get on the live again. It's always funny to see that though. But we're going to get started here in just a bit, ladies and gents. But as you can see in the chat box, hit the thumbs up button if you're excited for our holiday sale that we're having. I'm also curious, does anybody or has anybody landed any clients this week? Do we have any wins this week? Next, check out our new certified t-shirts below. So if you go right below this video, you should see a little bar. Especially if you're on desktop, you'll see it pretty clearly. There's a bunch of t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies. You can get your tank tops for when summertime gets here, since it's almost, winter's almost getting into spring. We're not quite there yet, but we're moving along very quickly. This year flew by already. Ali Alba, yep, that's exactly what's going on. See? Dude, I'm telling you. I know you guys. I know what you're going through. Now that I've had, a couple thousand of you that have actually purchased the program and I've seen this process happen a ton, it's just funny. You see patterns with people. They start off with the free stuff, they get on lives, then they buy the program, and then they like straight up disappear for like a month or two, right? And they're taking the training seriously. At least the smart ones take the training seriously. And they spend a lot of time learning how to do it. And then they come back and they hit a live and they're like, okay, all right, I got some questions now. Let me get back on this. Do I think a market crash would affect agency owners? We'll get to the questions in a minute, guys. Y'all just do me a favor. If you're just now hopping on, say hello. Put your name in the chat box so I can see who all is here. If you feel like it, put the name of your agency and where you're from. That's always fun to see where different people are from and kind of meet some people from other areas. I hope you guys, seriously, don't come into this. Some people are so, let's say, introverted that they come into a live setting like this and they think that they can't meet someone that's going to be beneficial to them. I've met so many people that I've never actually met in person, but we have a great relationship online that have been beneficial to my business. Some people have come from lives. Some people have come from just reaching out to me. I've reached out to people, and you really don't know who you could meet online that could be beneficial to either your journey as an entrepreneur or your agency. So you guys, please put your names in there, not only for my benefit, but for yours as well, so that way you have the opportunity to potentially talk to somebody. If you see somebody putting good questions in the chat box, that might be somebody good to reach out to. They might have a bank of knowledge that you might not have even thought of yet. But there's always benefits to, opening yourself up and putting yourself out there. Like, really, you have to put yourself out there. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur and a successful business owner, you have to be willing to talk to pretty much anybody. And I know that's uncomfortable, but eventually you get super used to it. Like it doesn't bother you as much anymore when you start to do it. Like, for example, I have a sales rep that I'm training in my office, and he we've been training on this cold calling and stuff like that, and he got to the point where I was like, all right, it's time to make your first call. So he made his first call, and he did fine, but he stumbled a little bit through a couple of things. Like, for example, he said, this is SMH marketing. I was like, dude, who is SMH? I was like, where did that even come from? It was hilarious. But anyways, so he struggled the first time, right? But literally, after we talked and made some adjustments, he made 3 to 5 more calls to 3 to 5 different more businesses. He had to go after that because we focused the majority of the day on training and actual concept, right? But he did the last several, and he did a lot better. He was so much more smooth. He even said he felt more comfortable. It felt more natural. So guys, it's all about repetition. Even with meeting people and conversing with random people you don't know, I guarantee you it is like you get more comfortable the more you do it. The more you put yourself out there and just start forcing yourself to actually have those conversations, the more you get comfortable with it. So I challenge you, if you want something to challenge yourself, start reaching out to people or doing things that will make you uncomfortable, right? It's just the way you get better at uncomfortable situations and managing those situations. Alex, yes, I do offer consulting calls. If you would do me a favor and send a message to my Facebook business page, I'll reach back out to you and we can discuss setting up a consultation. But definitely worth it. If you're newer to the agency world, I would say stick to my free content first. But if you already have a good idea about a lot of things going on in the agency world and how things kind of work as far as running your business, and you really need that next level information that you're not really sure about yet, then we can that's the point where I really suggest people hopping on a call with me, because it does get a little more expensive, obviously, to be able to talk to me directly. But I promise you, I can guarantee you, like I've had people call and they took my course and then they took a call after that and they were like, dude, you taught me more in this hour than I did in like 10 days of learning. Because it's so easy for me to communicate things, and if you just sit there and listen, you have your questions ahead of time, you ask them, I write them down, and then I go through your questions as quickly as possible to give you as much information in that time as possible. And then we record it and send it over to you. But yeah, our consultations are definitely something that is super valuable if you've already got the basics down, you've taken a program, or you've watched a shit ton of free training, because trust me, that's what it's going to take. But anyways, we do offer them. All right, let's see. Who do we got in the house so far? Ali Alba, obviously. Jose Diaz, what's going on from Connecticut? Let's see. Jarrell, what's up, man? And Alex, hello. Suktashaka. I think I got that right. Suktashaka. What's going on? Red Island Marketing from California. Let me know if I got that name right, because I'm going to be super impressed with myself if I did. Is it Tehran or Tehran? That's always hard for me. Tehran. I would say Tehran from Livingston, Texas. Jarrell from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I love it. Atlanta, Georgia, United States. Like, it's different. Like, in the U.S., people don't say, like, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, United States. They would just say I'm from Georgia, USA, or Atlanta, USA. Most people know like that Atlanta is associated, but I get why you say it that way. It's funny because when you talk to someone from Canada, I have some friends from Canada, they always say it like that too. Tanner Tinsley, what's going on, buddy? How are things going with you? How's your agency going? It's been a while since I've heard from you as well. Theo, what's up, man? How have you been? Ad Exalt from Sarasota, Florida. Where's Sarasota at again? Because I'm from like Cocoa Beach area, if you know where that is. I think Sarasota's like between Cocoa and Jacksonville, right? Or am I wrong? Or maybe it's on the Panhandle. I really can't remember. So tell me. Ronnie from Burbank. Ultra Gold Coin, what's going on? Dustin, what's up? San Diego. Nice. A lot of people from Cali get on these calls too. All right, we're going to get started here in just a second. Thanks, guys, for saying hello and dropping your name in there. I got it right. Hell yeah. We got Nashville in the house with Brandon. Just bought the 2.0 last week. Super stoked. James McAllister. About time you got in there, buddy. You've been a fan for a while. Or not a fan. I hate saying that word. But you've been a viewer for a while as well. Happy to see you in there, man. Let me know your thoughts for sure. When you get done, send me a message and let me know what you think. We are always interested in improving as much as we can. And that's the thing. I want you guys to hear that. We're always interested in improving. We know our system works. We have several students. We had a student post just last week. His name's Chris Matz. His agency has already done $140,000 this year, so I think he's going to close around $160,000 this year. I think he's only been doing this for about a year and a half, right? So we know our course can provide results. And we have Kayla Haley. I probably have over at least 100 testimonials of people who have made $10K a month now. And so that's the thing. It's not my program that can't teach you how to do it. People like come in and they're like, I didn't learn how to do anything. And I'm like, well, look, if you've taken other programs before, that's what we're here to teach you, but we teach it in a different way, right? So you're going to learn social media ads and other courses. There's not much more I can teach you unless that person just completely didn't know what they were talking about. So, I mean, there's just people, and we know we have one of the most in-depth programs of all time, but like people just, it's more about the fact that some people don't want to work to get what is required, or don't want to do what is required to get what they want, right? People are lazy, or they don't want to really commit to the failure side of it, because there is a side where, you're not going to get everything right. But people don't get that. Oh, Brandon, Mr. Brandon C on Facebook. Brandon. So is that how you say your last name? Is it C? S-E-A-Y is C, or is it C-A? C-A? I would say C, I guess, because that would be way easier and make a lot more sense. I think Brandon, you said you landed, was it just one client this week, or was it two? I know Brandon bought the course as well. But yeah, man, people, can you pose your barefoot on cam for a second? What? What? Yo, what? Are you one of those foot fetish people? And you want to see my feet? I've actually been told I have really nice toes. Okay, Brandon, I'll remember that. Which way do you spell it, though? Because on Facebook, it's C-E-E. But on here, it's S-E-A. WWE lovers. I gotta know what you mean by that. Because that's honestly I would say the most random question I've seen before. You guys, if you want to see me put my bare foot on camera, either hit the thumbs up, say yes, or hit the thumbs up and say yes. Oh my God. Like, it is a foot thing. That's okay. Okay, you say, okay, I got you. But it's actually pronounced C. Got it. I'll remember that. Close one client. That's right, and she referred you to a gym owner. I remember seeing that. Dodging the feds? I hear you. They'd be confused as hell. They're like, wait, is it C or CA? How do we catch this guy? What's his actual name? I look blurry? Is that helpful? It probably isn't. That's what I've noticed too. Like, I'm trying to figure. So, Canon, to use a DSLR camera for YouTube Live, you have to actually connect the camera to your computer via a USB and a USB-C cord. Then you have to use OBS, which is an operating panel, to run the stream from YouTube to the operating panel to your computer, to the DSLR. Okay, That was a little bit confusing. But it's hard to get the size of the camera right because you have to fill the screen up so much, right? Honestly, what I should do is I need to make a thick banner on the bottom on this one. I haven't done it on this one, so that's why it also looks like that. It's a fuller image than when I do it on my other computer at the office. So, anyways, I know how to fix that now, though. Gus Sand says no. Alright, guys. You can go ahead and start posting your questions that you have for your social media marketing agency now. But before you do that, I need you to hit the thumbs up button anyways. Nobody wants to see my feet, and I'm totally okay with that. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button if you're ready to start getting your questions answered, and feel free to go ahead and put a question inside the chat box. I'm going to scroll up now and get back to the top questions that were up there. Vikram asks, how do you think a market crash would affect agency owners? The thing is, market crashes or any type of economic situations are never good for agency owners, or at least especially bad agency owners that aren't really getting real results for businesses. Now, if you're getting true results for a business and a market crash happens, they know that you're too valuable to be let go, right? If you're giving such a great service at such a great price and you're providing all these leads that are converting for your clients because your marketing campaigns are that great, they're not going to drop you. But in history, it is traditional that most businesses will drop a marketing campaign when the market or when their business is starting to make less revenue, even if that isn't due to the fact that marketing is generating some of that revenue, right? So, and the reason why is because traditionally in the past, there weren't ways to track marketing as well, meaning TV and radio wasn't easy to track who was converting from TV ads or radio ads. You just kind of knew people were converting when you were running commercial ads, and you knew that you weren't converting as much when you turned the ads off. Now we know with digital marketing that how much we're spending and how much that's generating us, right? So you have to be able to provide those results, but also do it at a rate that it's effective for the business to keep paying you to do it. So to say it's recession proof, it is not recession proof. But then again, no business is recession proof. The only business that I think is actually recession proof is like alcohol and bars. That is pretty much it. Why? Because when people stop having money, for some reason, they want to go spend the money they do have on alcohol. But any other business, lawyers, doctors, anything, traditionally when an economic crisis happens, is going to affect that industry in some way. It's just going to happen. Industries have to start making cuts because of the fact that there is not enough money going around anymore. Or the valuation of their money dropped. Alex, I answered your questions on private calls. If you guys didn't hear, I do offer private consultations. If you want to set one up, go ahead and feel free to message me on my Facebook page. But just know they are a little bit more expensive, so I do recommend that you at least have a base knowledge of digital marketing before you try to set up a call with me. And running an agency. Also, I want to mention, since we have so many people on now, if you haven't done this already, make sure to go right below this video in the description. This is super important if you want to get in the DMS 2.0. We're offering our best holiday deal ever. Trust me, you have not seen a deal like this yet from us. So if you want to get on that notification list in the... How pimp does my agency... James, I love how you phrase that. Sorry. In the description right below this video, there's a link so you can sign up for our holiday pre-sale list. We have a pre-sale. It's not a pre-sale, but basically it's a wait list. So that way you can get on, and that way we can notify you once we do have the holiday sale live. Because we only have so many offers available for the holiday sale since it is our best offer. But if you go down, you will be one of the first 100. That means you can get the offer, because the offer changes after 100 students purchase the first one. It's a little different from Black Friday, because we just left it open to everybody on Black Friday, and that was crazy. So many people took advantage of that offer. Okay. I should have grabbed the water. Trying to get to the next question. Hang on a sec. Ultra Gold Coin. The biggest thing about getting past the gatekeeper is saying something interesting. So I'm going to give you guys this one line, and I want you to practice this on your next cold call. All right? Let's pretend the phone rings and they pick up. Hey, this is Trisha. I don't know why I sounded like that. I really don't. But that's Trisha. All right? All right, let me give my serious mode. Hey Trisha, this is Jordan. I'm calling on behalf of R&B Marketing, and I wanted to take a second to talk to you guys because I've found, and let's say they're a dentist. I've been working with other dentists in your area, and I've been able to generate some really good results for their online marketing campaigns, and I wanted to actually take a second to show you guys the step-by-step process I used to generate those new leads and sales for those dentist offices. If you have a minute, I would love to set up a call with you for a time after this, and I can even send you a little video that you can watch that actually explains a lot about the process before I even have the call with you guys. So who would I need to talk to set this up? Right? Are you responsible for this, or is there someone else that would be responsible for making that decision? And usually, what you really want to try to do is get that person before you even call, right? So you want to go on a website and find, let's say, dentist or doctor who runs that office, that owns the office, and you want to call in and say, hey, I would love to talk, or, back the call up. Hello. Hey, this is Jordan on behalf of R&B Marketing. I'm calling to speak to Dr. So-and-so. Oh, okay, what's this in regards to? Well, I've had some success generating tons of new leads for dentists in the Atlanta area, and I would love to show you the exact step-by-step process we use to get 3 to 5 new clients for these dentists every single month. And, I'd finish it up with hardly any budget or hardly any ad spend or anything like that, right? And so that's what we would use to get past the gatekeeper. Because that's the thing. The gatekeeper doesn't care unless they hear something interesting. That's what they're pretty much told to do. So that's what I would recommend. That little line right there, always saying, hey, I have worked with such and such industry. And trust me, guys, doesn't matter if you've worked with them or not. You just say that to get past the door, because here's the thing. They don't know what they need until you show them, right? And if you really know what you're doing, then you can actually provide them with real help. So who cares if I have to tell a gatekeeper who's someone who doesn't really have a clue what this business needs from a marketing perspective? Maybe they do. Maybe they've taken a course just like this and they're trying to do it. But the majority of the time, it's probably going to be someone who has no clue about any of this stuff. So what do they know what the business owner needs? They're told to say no. So do what you have to do to get past the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper means nothing. If you can get in there and talk with the business owner and you change their entire perspective on digital marketing and get them to sign a $5,000 a month contract, and you're able to generate all the leads that you promised them, then everybody's happy in that situation. The true, testament, the true challenge really comes down to, can you get the leads that you're telling them that you can get with $5,000 a month? Because if you can't do that, that's where it, in my opinion, starts to turn towards the negative side of things. And I don't think that you should be doing that to a business owner, because that's a lot of money to take away from a business. RM Brooks says, hey there, Tanner Tinsley. Great to meet you here. You guys exchange infos. Boom. Best friends. And that's the thing, Ultra Gold Coin. That goes back to, she says, or he says, I think it's a he. I know I've asked your name before, but it's hard to remember when it's not your actual name there. It says, even when the economy is bad, every business needs to market, otherwise they'd go out of business. There will always be a need for a marketing agency. And even though that is true, traditionally a lot of businesses will cut their marketing budget. But if you look at companies like, what is it? The chewing gum company. Now I'm drawing blank on their name. What's like Winter Fresh and Juicy Fruit? Hold on. What is the parent company? Wrigley. Jesus. Okay. Wrigley, as a company, with their gum, refused to stop advertising their gum. Even when the market was down, they refused to stop advertising their gum because they knew that marketing was the only way they were going to keep selling. And they ended up being one of the oldest gum creating and producing companies of all time. I always forget, like, which, I'm pretty sure they did it with, what was it? They did it with their major brands, because not all the gum that they have now was in circulation back when this happened. But it was like I remember reading this story in one of my marketing classes in college, but it was about how they continued to market even through a market crash, or even through like the Great Depression, and were one of the only companies to come out on top because of the fact that they refused to quit marketing. But traditionally, businesses will, even though eventually it's cyclical, right? So business is always going to come back up, and once it does, budgets increase always, every single time. But the good marketers always remain, because they're the ones who they get results whether they're in a recession or not. They know how to drive leads and sales. And the funny thing is, too, here's the funny thing about that, if you really think about it. If a recession happens and people start to drop off on their marketing budgets, that means the ones still spending are actually getting marketing at a cheaper rate because of the fact that there's less competition. I want you to think about that. Really let that set in. So the next time a business owner tries to question you about whether or not, a market crash is going to affect their business and they should pull their marketing budget, you say, all right, I want you to think about this though, Mr. Business Owner. How many other doctors out there do you think are being affected by this crash? Probably a good bit. Okay, well, if that's the case, that means they're probably going to pull their marketing budgets too, right? And maybe even some of the ones who they're not going to completely pull their marketing budget, but they're going to decrease their budget, are probably going to be in some of that bunch too, right? Yeah. Okay, so that means if you keep spending, that means you're getting more advertising, more space, more exposure for a cheaper cost because you don't have as many competitors out there spending, meaning it's going to drive ad costs down. You just got to know how to sell this stuff, man. It's all about understanding what you're really doing with the service, but it's also understanding what's going to happen in the market and understanding the business and industry. Agency is going slowly but surely. Need to triple down on closing. All systems and processes are established. Tanner, if you have the budget for it, man, you and I can set a quick call and we can get your sales process and closing down. Because if it's just closing, man, if that's all you need to get and everything else is ready to go, we can get you closing some clients. There's probably, 3 to 4 things that you're doing wrong that I can correct you on, and you can start making thousands really quickly. Because if you have the systems in place, all you need to do from here is get you some customers. So let me know if you're interested in that. I just read the barefoot question again. That was funny. As a newborn marketing agency, what is the best way to post your services to show people what you're capable of? What do you mean by post your services? Honestly, you want to know the best way to show people what you're capable of? Create an online marketing campaign that gets a business owner to buy your marketing services. That will easily show people what you're capable of. Hey, I created this marketing campaign, and guess what? This business bought off of it. Why? Because I knew a few things, and then you sell that to the business owner. I guarantee you they would buy. I want to do the same thing for your customers. But what do you mean by best way to post your services to show people what you're capable of? Like the best way to go out there and perform some so that way you can get some case studies and testimonials? Like, what do you mean there? I want to know, where'd it go? I want to know the biggest mistakes you've made within your first 2 years of starting off and retaining clients. Tanner, the biggest mistakes are not building out SOPs sooner. And by that I mean standard operating procedures, if you don't know what an SOP is. And what that simply means is building out the steps that your employees or virtual assistants will take to create a piece of content, an ad, a website, whatever it is. But that part took a lot of time. Like, there are so many pieces. Like, guys, we're still building out processes because it's a never-ending job. Like, I just want you to realize how, and it wasn't that I really made a mistake. It's just that we didn't give it enough attention. Outside of that, not doing enough research ahead of time before taking on a third-party service, not hiring the best virtual assistant or expert for the job, not building, and again, not building out proper steps for them to execute a plan. Those are really the biggest things, because when you're hiring VAs and you're outsourcing to people overseas, obviously there's communication barriers, there's time barriers, but the biggest issue that I found, and if you actually go and read the 4-Hour Work Week, then you'll go through the outsourcing section in that book. And it is interesting to see Tim Ferriss's stance on outsourcing and why it doesn't always work out. So what I'm trying to say is a lot of people will blame the VA that they have for not getting the job done properly, when really it's the fact that instructions aren't clear enough. So if you're having trouble trying to outsource work, or you think that the VAs you're hiring that say they're experts and they really aren't, then you might want to do a check or a self-check and go read that book and read specifically the section on outsourcing in the 4-Hour. But it's literally more about the fact that people don't provide enough instruction. And so that's part of the biggest thing. So SOPs are crazy. That's one big thing. And then finding the right VAs at the right price is another big thing. The third thing is underpricing your services. This is probably one of the biggest things that prevents people from being able to scale and do it properly. The fourth thing, and this is one thing that we're learning now, and it's one thing that I saw from a few other people that are at a higher level with their agency. These are guys who've actually they've been running an agency now for 10, 15 years. I got to see some of their higher level training for higher level agencies. And one of the biggest things that I've noticed is it's all about, at least with these guys, it's all about standardization, meaning you're going to standardize 80 to 90% of what you do for each client that you bring in. So you have a new client come on, 80 to 90% of the work is something that you do with every single other customer that you bring into your agency. The other 10 to 20% is that customization that goes into each business, because that's the thing. There really isn't a need for 100% customization, right? And what I mean by that, because you guys hear me talk about, well, don't cookie cut things. And I'm not telling you to cookie cut things. But what I am telling you is you build templates. So for example, if you want to build websites, right? The reason why a lot of people build websites in one niche to start is because it's easy. And it's easy to scale. Once you get one website done, the next thing you're going to do is duplicate it. You're going to make adjustments as far as locations for local SEO. You'll make graphic changes. You'll make font changes. You might make some minor design changes to the pages, but that's really it. So it takes the minimal amount of work to get a big project done, meaning you save a crap ton on labor hours to produce a result that's equally as good as the big design that you spent a ton of time on, right? So standardization is key, and that's one thing that we've learned is learning how to standardize processes for business owners, not for business owners, for marketing campaigns, so that way we as business owners can scale our agency and make more money with less time and effort. Matt Williams, yes, that was one of the reasons why we updated 2.0 was to include a bunch of information on how to create your own SOPs, not to mention a bunch of examples of the SOPs that we use within our agency. And that's actually something we'll be updating because like I said, we're constantly working on trying to improve our internal processes. This isn't like, seriously, you'll learn this when you start creating SOPs. It's not a once and done kind of thing. You're never done creating SOPs. You're always trying to improve and maximize efficiency and output, right? So that means constantly taking a look at the procedures that you have in place and what steps people take, who's involved, how much time they're spending on each one, what's involved with each individual sub-step within a bigger task, right? There's so many different pieces that go into SOPs. So understand the importance of really getting it right. Tanner, not a problem, buddy. Glad that was helpful. And that's the thing. I'm always going to help students first. Like, no offense to any of you who aren't students. You know, I totally get if you haven't purchased the course yet. That's totally fine. But my students, the ones who pay, I'm totally going to make sure that, or at least try my best to make sure that they get their questions answered. Just because they paid, you know, and I'm going to, if they're going to dedicate themselves to me, I'm going to try my best to, you know, dedicate them to them. Took a hiatus, but you'll be in the Facebook group next week. That's good. We always want more people who are willing to, you know, communicate with everybody else in the community. We have a super active community on Facebook in our private group. Do you use automation for SMMA to manage the client's social media? So, Mohammed, it's not automation with regards to using a software. It's more about, again, creating SOPs. When people talk about automating your business with a marketing agency, there isn't enough software or smart enough software out there to be able to automate everything. So when we talk about automating, we talk about creating operational procedures or workflows for our contractors and VAs to be able to carry out for us. Meaning, I don't have to be there to do it as long as I have a manager who can communicate all of that information to one of our, one of our contractors that we hire out to, or one of our experts that we hire out to, or even an employee within the internal side of my business. That's all I really need for it to be running. If everybody has their list of instructions and they know exactly what to do, who to communicate with, what step comes first, what step comes second, right? It makes it to where you don't have to be there to run the business. Best practice to market a Japanese restaurant locally. Gus, the biggest thing with restaurants is running constant sales, having constant things for people to do, or constant reasons for people to come in, right? And staying top of mind. People in your local, especially your immediate local area, need to know that you're there all the time. So you need to dedicate a portion of their ad budget just to branding and local reach, reaching thousands of people around you in the local area, letting them know you're there. Outside of that, then you run local giveaways, you do, buy one, get ones, you do events, you do, happy hours, trivia, whatever it is that you'd like. And, I know it's Japanese, so it's a little bit different, but, is it hibachi? Because if you have a hibachi restaurant, there's tons of things you could do. You could do a hibachi special. You could do a win a free hibachi dinner if you participate, something like that. Those things are so easy to do and so affordable for the restaurant. All it does, it takes their food costs, right? Which is super cheap, really, for them, especially if they're getting tons and tons of exposure and you create a good remarketing campaign around that giveaway, right? If you just create the giveaway and that's it, you're not really going to get much out of it. But if you create the giveaway, you get a ton of exposure in your local area, and then you create a remarketing campaign to follow up with, then you're good. So just know that if you're running contests and giveaways, make sure you have a remarketing campaign in place. Outside of that, the biggest thing is having tons and tons of brand exposure. So making sure everybody in the local area knows that you're there. Hey, so I've been sending out a bunch of audits but not getting any response back. Any advice? Matt, that's the thing. That's why, again, I don't ever preach cold calling or cold emailing or cold messaging myself, because I personally love networking more. So I like going out to events and meeting people there than building them an audit and meeting with them again. But if you are going to send out audits, one of the best ways to do it is to do cold calling. To be honest, if I had to do any kind of cold anything, I would either find some way to do cold messaging with automation using LinkedIn and like Duck Soup, or I would use Facebook to reach out to business pages on Facebook. That was always one of my favorite ways to do it, reach out to business pages personally. And then outside of that, cold calling. But if you're going to do audits, the biggest thing is having a way for you to, well, actually it says you're not getting any response back. So here's the thing. I would go download the HubSpot app and plug in. All right, what you can actually do with HubSpot is it'll tell you whether people are opening those emails or not. So first you need to know whether people are opening them or not, because if they're not opening them, that means it's just going to their spam folders. So you need to check something about whatever email server you're trying, whatever email server you're trying to send from. Maybe your email has already been flagged as spam. If it's getting to their inbox and they're opening it, then it's potentially the fact that your audit isn't providing enough value for them, or you're reaching out to businesses that don't need it, so you're not doing enough in the pre-qualification process. Pre-qualification is stupid important for any type of sales outreach in the marketing industry. You don't need to reach out to businesses who aren't ready for it, and there's a very specific way you need to do that. I guess I need to create a video on pre-qualification. I know I have one in the course, or we talk about it in the course. What is my opinion on chatbots? Jarrell, are you kidding? You must not have seen the new video. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, we literally just released a video this Tuesday on my thoughts on Messenger chatbots. So go check out that video. That'll tell you everything that I think, at least about creating campaigns using them. My client doesn't want to be... What time are we at? Right, 8:09. Okay. My client doesn't want to be on video. What is a good way to do video if the client doesn't want to be in front of a camera? Brandon, either getting another person on camera. You could be the person on camera as long as you're willing to consistently do it. I would recommend finding a face, someone else in the company that is okay with doing it. Another way to do it is to do voiceover. So you do B-roll footage and voiceover. Excuse me. So that's what I would recommend there. But it's easier if you get talent because people always like to have a face of their company. How do you get experience? I don't want to get a client in practice with their money. Michaela. 2 ways to do that. Find a friend or a family member or somebody close to you that doesn't mind you doing some practice on their ad spend and ad campaigns. The best way alternatively to get practice would be to start an e-commerce company or drop shipping company potentially. That would be the best way is drop shipping, so that way you don't have to spend hardly any money. You can just buy a website, spend a little bit on ads, and you can get some practice that way. You can even build email campaigns, and who knows, maybe you'll do so well at drop shipping you don't want to do SMMA. Although I kind of think I would shoot myself in the foot by doing that. But I'm just trying, I guess that goes to show I'm not really here for everybody's money. Like, I want you to find your passion. Just know that my program can teach you how to do your passion, whether it's a dropshipping course, starting an agency, whatever, because everything we teach is about digital marketing. But anyways, enough course pushing. Sorry. Had to name drop a little bit. A little product drop. But that's what I recommend to get experience. Really doing a dropshipping store, that's going to be one of your best options if you don't want to do it for someone else. If you're like, afraid to hurt them or take their money or not make them any money. I totally get that. I'm not making fun again. But still waiting for the feet. Yo. I've never been asked to show my feet to somebody. Theo, it was... Hey, you don't know what Look, here's the thing. You don't know what the holiday offer is, because I don't want to give anything away, but you don't know what the holiday offer is. So you don't know. I said it's the best value ever. I never said it's the lowest price. I never said anything specific. Just so you know. I said the best value ever. And I'm not saying it's not going to go lower, because who knows? I can always change my mind. It's my program. If I want to, or if I feel like I need to, then I'm going to. Either way, what does it matter if you spend, because you got it for Black Friday, so what does it matter if you spend $399, $10 if you go out in a month or 2 months and you make $2,000, $5,000, $10,000? It doesn't matter if you spent $1,000 at that point, because I've made you back 10 times what you spent. Just saying. Raymond says he took advantage of that Black Friday. Raymond, what do you think of the course so far? What's up, God King? I'm trying to run Facebook ads for local biz. How much should I charge them for ad spend? For ads spend is $2,000 enough for Facebook ads. $2,000. If $2,000 is their ad spend, I would charge them $500 on top of that for management at least. $500 to $750 tops. And just know that doesn't include you doing any video shooting or video editing. You might do some minor image creation and editing, meaning you're going to go get stock photos and use those as your images, put some text on them on Canva. That might be the most you do, but you're not doing anything extensive, and you're not doing extensive copywriting. If they want extensive copywriting written by an expert copywriter, they're going to have to pay for that. Same thing for video editing, same thing for crazy cool graphics, right? But 500 to 750 for basic management and optimization of ads plus reporting. Best practice to market a Japanese restaurant locally. I answered that one. So investing in ourselves is one of the best choices we can make. Totally agree with that one. I can find time every day to work on SOPs. Systems run the agency. I control the systems. I'm currently reading 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. That's great. Tanner, definitely make it to the outsourcing section. I promise you'll love it. Kashif. Yeah. I'm just going to call you Cash, too. Because you told me it's not Kashif. And I felt bad. Like, in the comment video you put, I remember it. You were like, yo, is Cash if... I was like, damn it. But that was funny, dude. That video made me laugh, I'm not gonna lie. When love started, what do you think about PBNs for SEO? I've been doing I've found some negative stuff about it. PBNs are okay, but it's not something I like. They're definitely a dying way of performing SEO, for sure, because the algorithm on Google is getting way too smart to use PBNs. To be honest with you, I've never used PBNs for any of my SEO efforts to begin with. I've never really been into black hat methods or even gray hat methods, if you will. But I would stay away from PBNs just because that has nothing to do with good SEO. Really, now, guys, it's about understanding basic SEO technical structure, and then from there, it's about creating really great, valuable content. Good infographics, good follow-up templates and documents for people to download, and then just good overall information within the actual article itself. That's the only way to create great content. And then as far as local SEO is concerned, listing management, review management, getting engagements from all different platforms within your local area, being mentioned in local newspapers, things like that is really what's going to help you with the local rankings. Phenomenal Digital Marketing, name of my agency. I'll be doing nutritionists and dietitians. Dope. Narrowing down the niches, and you got the name. Have you got the license and tax ID yet and all that information? Maya, how's it going? Where did we go? A VA I plan to hire says he works with ClickUp. What is the difference between Asana and ClickUp? Brandon, I could not tell you because I've never used ClickUp. All I know is I love Asana. It's a pain in the ass to learn, but I promise you it is actually super valuable for your agency. What do you do if a restaurant you're working with increases prices but ends up being a deadly mistake, and now I'm trying to help them keep afloat? I hate those kinds of situations. They really do suck. Because that's the thing. You can't sell something to someone when it's overpriced. The only thing you can do is revert back to your old method of pricing or provide a better service or product. And that's the thing. People don't feel that the product is worth the value that they're charging. So did they adjust the entire menu, or did they just... And what I mean by that is, did they bring in new menu items and do all different things on the actual menu itself with the food? Or did they just adjust pricing and they kept the same food? Because if they only adjusted pricing and now nobody's coming in, then, I mean, yeah, that's easily a reason why people would stop coming in, is just the fact that the food is overpriced. So that's not really your responsibility at that point. You know, if they were doing fine and then right as the price increase happened, they start losing business, that's not a marketing issue. That's a pricing issue. That happens with agency owners too. If you overprice your services and they don't feel that the value is there, people aren't going to buy your services. Hey, look at that. Ali Alba, one of our students. My newest client loves the videos I make. I finished my 3-month contract with them and they want me to do more work in 2020. How do I go about increasing my pricing as well, maybe offering more? Ali, so the biggest thing is whenever you're upselling, because that's what offering more is, whenever you're upselling, you just have to show that the value's there. If they already like you and like doing business with you, you just have to show them how creating video plus whatever else you're trying to sell them connect together, and how if you do one with the other, you're going to get an even better result. That's really all upselling is. Super easy. As far as increasing your pricing, the biggest thing is you have to tell them, look, if you really enjoy the service, and you really have to be able to judge as well, is it really, and I'm not, knocking your services. I'm not doubting your services. I just want you to think about this, because you have to think about it. Is your service, is an increase in price worth the value that they're going to receive? All right, is there an equal trade-off? Is the increase in price worth the value they're going to receive still, or are they going to be getting, barely breaking even if you increase the price? If they're getting a ton back and they're loving the service that they're getting, then great. But if you're not really providing any more value than the service is worth and you're increasing the price just like that restaurant, you're going to lose customers, right? Or they're not going to be willing to go with you. So just be careful about increasing price. Oh my God, RM Brooks, if you think, and the MAP mentor, what? RM says he's on the fence about the MAP mentorship program. First thing, that's only $10 a month, dude. You can pay $120 and you're getting like 56 videos. Find me a better deal than that. You can't. Okay, I'm not going to say you can't, but the training we do, you can't. The second thing is, if you think this is great content, you have no clue what you're missing inside of one of the programs. Like, that's the funny thing. Like, the structure you get plus the difference in content that we create, those two things alone, like, you could ask any of the guys who are on here right now that are students, like, the difference between them going through a bunch of the free content and then getting into the structured course where we do things a little bit differently, they'll tell you it's miles apart. Jarrell said, what's up with this guy? Talking about Theo. It's all good, Theo. Look, man, I wasn't trying to rag on you, I'm just saying. Just like with your agency, if you choose to increase the price or decrease the price, that calls on you, man. And if your clients have a problem with it, then you have to deal with your clients. But that's really it. Like, if they choose to leave, then they choose to leave. The ones that choose to stay, they're probably going to get, a great service provided to them. The ones who leave will probably go find another agency and they'll probably not be happy, then they'll come back anyways. So, if you increase your price and you're as good as what you should be, then the customers will come back if they don't find something they're happy with. Make yourself irreplaceable. I was talking about that. One of my students who's been in the program and been a student for about 2.5 years, almost 3 years now. You guys might know Derek. Derek sells, Derek Bumper. He and I had a quick chat today because he's on the verge of being able to make anywhere from like 300 to 400K and get a promotion within his business, the business that he's working for, doing a lot of what I taught him. He actually wants me to do a live training with a lot of their sales reps. But I mean, the point is, you're going to make way more than you ever put into the program that I'm selling you if you really and truly stick with it. Like, to see these guys grow, man, it's been amazing. Derek was at a point where, I shit you not, like, this is seriously an awesome story. Derek was at the point where he was choosing whether he should pay for rent or purchase my DMS 2.0 or DMS 1.0 course. He didn't pay rent. He went and bought my program, and now the kid's on the verge of making 300 to 400K a year. All because of the digital marketing knowledge and base that he was able to take and then use to build these systems for auto dealerships that are generating tons and tons of leads for them. So it's insane, man. But I'm not making fun of you, man. I want the best for you guys. And either way, you're paying way less than anything else that you would ever pay for to make the money that we're making. Like, go to college. And that's the best part. Those are my favorite people. I want my money back for this course. No. The reason we stopped doing money back guarantees, I started thinking about it. I was like, why don't colleges have money back guarantees? Why? Because if the amount of people who got a degree and didn't end up doing what they were doing in their degree and went back to colleges and said, I want a refund, colleges would not exist. They wouldn't be able to afford the amount of refunds they had to give out. And that's what I started thinking about. I was like, well, it's not my fault if I put together a program and all of this training. Like, that's the thing. Between our free training and the program, you have, like, so many videos that can teach you how to do this. And if you still can't get it, I'm not responsible for that. That's not my fault. Okay? And, like, that's what blows my mind is people actually get upset and blame me and my course for it when we know for a fact that it is possible to do it because we have so many students that have done it. Our return rate is so low compared to other agencies or other agency courses. Like, our return rate is stupid low anyways. Because we still have a return rate. We have people who request to get a return. We just unfortunately tell them no. But could you clarify what using Facebook for code traffic? Could you explain what that is? What? Raymond, I'm not sure what that means. Could you write that down there really quick? Because I am about to sign off. We are on the last couple of minutes here, but I would like to answer that question for you. Clarify what Facebook for code traffic. If you're talking about like the Facebook pixel and setting that up, that's the only thing where coding comes into Facebook. Unless you're talking about generating Facebook for coders. Or maybe you had a typo in there. To be honest, I'm not really sure. RM Brooks said that they're in. RM, if you want real value too, if you really want a course that's going to do it for you, seriously, one that is just, it's got everything you need inside of it, check out DMS 2.0, man. I'm telling you, especially with the holiday coming up. I'm just mentioned we're having a holiday sale. If you want to get involved with the holiday sale, the best offer we've ever had, the best value we've ever had, check out the link right below this video in the description. If you're on mobile, hit out of the chat real quick. You'll see a little arrow. You just tap that arrow right below the video, and it'll pop down the description. Find the link in there, and you can get signed up. If you're on desktop, all you got to do is scroll down. Yep, my new official time is 7:30 p.m. EST on Thursdays. This time has been really good, working out really well for us. We're getting a ton of people on, so I want to be able to provide it when I'm able to reach the most people, obviously. So that's what we decided to do. Christian Mosley, our courses are built around two different concepts. So Billy Jean's course is more about just running ads, right? He doesn't actually, I don't think he even teaches SEO in his program. My course is all about wanting to start an agency and an all-encompassing course that's going to get you to an intermediate level at every single area of digital marketing and then become an expert at running the business side of it, right? Because that's really what you need. You don't have to become an expert at PPC and Facebook ads and Instagram ads and email and copywriting and graphic design and video editing and video shooting. There's too many things for you. You can't become expert at all of those things. It's impossible. So what you do is you get good at an intermediate level at just about everything, and then you use that to hire other people that are like the best of the best, and then you have them do the jobs. You create sets, rules, operations, right? SOPs, we talked about those a ton earlier. And then you teach them how to do it. You set up the rules for them to do it. And then you create systems that do all of this stuff for you. A lot of people get confused. They think that their job is to learn how to become an expert at every single individual service that you're providing. What your job to do is become really good at understanding how to create all of these plans, these marketing plans, how to implement the systems and the campaigns if you needed to. But ultimately, the job is not for you to be working in the business. You're supposed to be working on the business. If you haven't heard that quote before, that's something you need to really take to heart right now. Work on your business, not work in your business. The only way you get more time freedom, the only way you get to travel and do the things that you really want to do is to start working on it and not in it, right? Maya, you can get a certification out of my course. Did you buy my course? I didn't know you bought it. But Christian, I'll tell you this, Billie Jean made a video about my course. If you go to my YouTube channel on desktop and go to like my channel page, the very first video that we have on there, or just type in Serial Entrepreneur Billie Jean on YouTube and you can find it that way. But our video is Billie Jean literally telling people how great my program is. So I don't think, what's his name, Raymond ever got back to me on anything about the Facebook stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off here, guys. But one more time, for those of you that are interested, right below this video in the description is a link for you to get into the pre-sale for the Social Media Marketing, Digital Marketing School 2.0 holiday sale. It's the best holiday sale, and it's not even that. We have the personal branding. If you're wanting to start a YouTube channel or blog, we have our personal branding and influencer marketing course that teaches you all about that. We have our mentorship program, our Facebook ads program. We're having the best sale, the best offer we've ever had, best value we've ever had. So if you guys are wanting to get involved there, that link is right below. The Yankees got Grant Cole. J. King, I know, bro. I was so upset. A law firm wouldn't use Facebook to drive cold ads or something like that. I may be pronouncing it wrong. Sorry. So basically what I was saying, Raymond, is you have to think about Facebook and how people use Facebook. My example in there talks about criminal attorneys, right? Criminal attorneys should not be running Facebook ads, at least from a cold traffic perspective. Now, if they're remarketing to people who have visited their site, Facebook ads and Instagram ads are fine. But it doesn't make sense to run a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad to cold traffic audiences on Instagram or Facebook because of the fact that for a criminal attorney, you don't need a criminal attorney until you need a criminal attorney, right? The only time you need a criminal attorney is if you get arrested, if you go to jail, right? Then you need a lawyer to go defend you in court, right? Well, there is no way on Facebook to target people who have been arrested or who are going to court soon, right? That's the only way that you could really do that. So how do people who need a criminal attorney find them? Well, they go to Google and they type in criminal attorney in Atlanta, right? Something like that in a location. Then what happens? You have two things happen. First is the PPC ads. That's why tons of criminal attorneys spend on PPC ads. Second is search engine optimization. So showing up in the organic results, right? But those are the two best ways to drive cold traffic. Now, as far as remarketing is concerned, Facebook, Instagram, even YouTube can be great methods to use for criminal attorneys to remarket to people who have already visited their website or a landing page or set up an appointment or something like that, right? So that's all I was trying to say there. But, okay, t-shirts. Also, t-shirts, not this t-shirt right here. This is old school right here. You can't even buy these. But if you go right below this video as well, you will see t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, all kinds of stuff down there that you can buy for the holidays. All you have to do is go check out my store on Teespring. We just released these. Again, we've got hoodies, sweatshirts, t-shirts, long sleeve, and short sleeve. We've got tank tops. And if you want to be CE certified, because it's pretty sweet, right? Like the C and the E is the logo. That's pretty sweet. And then the certified. Oh man, let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can show you guys real quick before we get out of here. Screen. Hey. Oh god, not this screen. Well, I guess that screen will work. Here. I'll show you guys. Look at this. That's the back. Here's some girl tees, some girl sweatshirts. The slouchy sweatshirts. We got long sleeve. Tank tops for when summer gets here for the girls and the boys. Boys, 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 boys. But yeah, the logo's dope. I can't lie, like, it fits perfectly on certified. So cool. Anyways, if you want one of those, they are right below this video. You can click the link and go over there. If you want a coupon for one of these, hang on, I'll give you a coupon. Oh wait, I don't have it on. Man, let me log in. I'll tell you guys a coupon just in case anybody wants one. I'm not sure if I'm even going to be able to log in. I don't remember my password. Oh, yay! I did it. First try. Promotions? Is it promotions? I think it is. Alright, I'm going to create a discount right now. Okay, it's not going to let me do that as the code. I'm going to do a discount right now. And if you guys want, discount. For 25%. So if you want any of the apparel that we have down there, if you want to be CE certified, cold. Is it cold or cold? It's cold, like cold. Yeah. So there's cold traffic, warm traffic, and hot traffic, right? Those are the 3 different types of traffic that you'll look at in a sales funnel. But that is the promo code if you want to buy one of those pieces of clothing that I have listed right below this video that I showed you on your screen. Oh, I'm pretty sure that I just showed you all the promo codes for it. Even though it doesn't really matter because all of those are dead for dead shirts and, well, 25% is better than 10%. But anyways, if you want one of those codes, feel free to go over there and you can do that. But that's it for now, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you check out the holiday sale right below. If this video was entertaining or interesting for you, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button so that way other entrepreneurs and other marketers just like you can find our channel. Outside of that, I hope you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you guys next Thursday. But until then, Serial Entrepreneur out. Bye, guys.